Hello, I'm Robin and I'm a normal alcoholic. How long does it take to get sober? Well, obviously, there's no one answer to this. How long's a piece of string? But I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about kind of just general timelines of how long things take. And I think the first point to say is just it's going to happen when you're ready. I look at my experience, and for me, from the day that I started taking action, that I first reached out to help, up to the day that I had my last drink, was nearly 3 years. So when I decided to do something about my drinking, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to stop completely. As I've said before, all I wanted at that point was to get control of my drinking. I thought I could get control back. I thought I could get out of that physical dependence and be able to drink like everyone else. So I had to go through stages of realization that my drinking was worse than I thought it was. I had to realize that I couldn't just reduce to managed drinking. I had to realize that I wouldn't be able to just go to the pub and have one drink or just have a drink on special occasions. I'd have to stop drinking completely. Now, most people in recovery have a similar story or a similar progression. They get to their rock bottom, they know they've got to do something about it, and then they start their journey of realization. Now, some people are lucky. I say lucky. Some people get it quicker than I did. Some people might go to their first fellowship meeting or go to their first counselling session or take their first empowerment course, whatever it is. They might get it on the first attempt and suddenly realize that they can adapt to this new life that's alcohol free. But a lot of people, that's not the case. As said, it's similar to mine in that they get to the rock bottom, know they've got to do something, think they can get back control, and over a matter of days, weeks, months, or years, realize that the only way to get control of your life is to cut the drink completely. I've known people that's taken many more years than me. I've known people that have maybe had a first attempt and started out sober and been kind of white knuckling it, or what we call being a dry drunk, where you've stopped drinking but you're so stressed with life and so dying to go back to the drink that you don't actually enjoy your life. You're a dry drunk. You're not over the issues. So they might do that for months or years until they get to that point where something changes, another rock bottom, and then they figure out that, yes, they've got to do something extra to get fulfillment and acceptance in their new sober life. Something else to mention, this kind of came up on a comment from a recent video, talking about what methods are best for each person. And I think there's an element of potluck. You might try one thing and you're you're not ready. You haven't reached that personal acceptance. So you go, oh, that thing didn't work for me. And then you try something else. And because you're ready to make that change, that new thing, that new approach, that new solution, that works. And then you get it and you go, all right, that person says, oh, the other thing, that doesn't work, but this thing, this works. And I don't think it's that simple. It's more a matter of, you might try lots of different things. You might learn something from each different approach or modality, whatever you want to call them. And eventually you've learned enough from each thing that it all comes together. And I kind of see it that way. I've had counseling, one-on-one groups. I've been to rehab. I've been to fellowships. I've tried smart recovery. Then there's the meditation, all that kind of stuff on top. You eventually get there and you settle on the thing that works for you. And I'm a product of multiple services, solutions, etc. And I like to think that I've learned something different from all those different parts. Which is why I said, and again, I try to be unbiased in everything I say, because I don't know what you're going to try in what order, and I don't know what you're going to try when you're ready. So just try and keep an open mind to everything. But thinking I've got to try and find the thing that works for me. Yes, you do have to find the thing that works for you. But also you got to know that if you're not ready, then you're just not ready. Maybe you haven't had enough negative experience. Maybe you haven't had enough loss to make that committed change. And this brings me back to a point I mentioned earlier about the lucky ones. I can say, oh, I wish I'd got it sooner. I wish I'd got it straight away. But what I generally find is the people who've had a harder time before they decide to try and make a change are the ones who get it quicker. Those people who've battled the denial for longer, had more trauma before they finally say, okay, maybe it's the alcohol. It's got to be the alcohol that's doing all this. I tend to think that they're the ones that get it sooner or quicker. But, it's like, what do you want? Do you want to have all the pain, try, get it straight away? Or do you want to have some pain, think it's the alcohol, stumble for 3 years trying to make the dealing with alcohol work, and eventually get there? You see what I'm saying? We will all get there when we're ready, if we really want to. But if you don't get it straight away, don't despair. Don't worry too much. There's a lot of people when they have their first relapse, it's soul destroying. They're like, I've been trying so hard, I've been doing this to the book, it didn't work, and they go, oh, I've lost it all. And you haven't lost it all. You've just learned something else. You've learned that, all right, you maybe thought you were doing everything you could, but there'll be something in there. There'll be something that you thought maybe didn't apply to you, wasn't that important for you. It'll be something kind of like a little bit of denial. Not like, oh, I'm not an alcoholic, but tiny seeds of denial in the back of your head going, I can do all this, and eventually one day I'll be able to just have one drink. And even if you don't want to admit it, even if you can't admit it, even if you don't think that thought's in your back of your mind, it might be. And that'll be the one that comes out one day and says, "Oh, Robin, you've just had 3 years of sobriety. You're doing so well. You've got this locked. You're not stressed. You're sleeping well. Job's going good. Relationships going good. Loving life. Let's try loving life like this, but with one beer." Nah, that is a little slippery slopes. So you do all that, and then you go, okay, I finally give in. I can't even have one. I was going to make a separate video about that, but I think I've kind of covered it in what I said there. So yeah, I can't tell you how long it's going to take for you, but I can say that if it doesn't work straight away, don't despair. Keep on trying. Try something else. Go through a little bit more pain, a little bit more exploration to find out what you need to change in your subconscious, in how you're dealing with it, in your everyday life, whatever it is. You'll get there. I know you will. Because if you didn't want to get there, and if you didn't have the desire to get there, then you wouldn't be watching this. So I wish you all the best. And if you got anything from this, think it might help someone out, then support the channel, give it a thumbs up or subscribe, the clicky stuff. For now, bye.